I remember putting in the address for Bradfield Hall in my GPS when I first arrived at campus. I was expecting a quaint little building. I mean, after all, I knew the atmospheric science department was small. But instead, I came across this incredibly tall building, all bricks and no windows. It was intimidating, walking through the winding hallways, taking the elevator to the very top floor. It was definitely not what I was expecting. But then again, I wasn't expecting to transfer to Cornell.
Ever since I was a little girl, I knew that I wanted to study the weather. I've always loved storms. I've always loved seeing all the radar images whenever looking at the Weather Channel and looking at the broadcast meteorologists and thinking, wow, I want to do something like them. That is so cool. But when I was in high school, I didn't really think of it as something to actually pursue and study in college. So I was actually going to do psychology right out of high school, but my heart just told me that that wasn't it. So I decided to go to my local community college for about 2 years, take classes, and as I did that, I earned 2 associate degrees. And when it came time to finally move on, I was looking into programs and I saw they had a meteorology program at Virginia Tech. But I also received an email thinking about applying to Cornell. And I thought, wow, I don't really think I can get into there, but I'm gonna apply anyway, just to see what would happen. And so I literally sent in my application on the last day. And when I received that acceptance letter, my heart told me this is right. This is what you need to do. And so I decided to leave my little town of 1,000 people max and go to a new place where they had bagels. I'd never seen a bagel until I came north. No sweet tea. It was so different, and it was very scary. It was a pretty scary experience. The whole first week, I remember just going to my room every night and crying a little bit because I missed my family and I missed all the things that I had left behind. But finding a group of people who I felt comfortable with made the experience much more easier, which did include Ethan and Sean.
Pretend like I'm talking to somebody, like...
No, you can do whatever. Just don't look at me.
Okay, can you see what's on my computer?
No, not at this angle. Sean, you need to act like you're doing something too.
I'll try. Keyword act.
Lucky for me, I didn't have to weather the odds all alone. Ethan and Sean, like myself, are transfer students into the atmospheric science major. While we are like typical transfers coming from smaller community colleges, what's unique about us is that we all transferred in at the same time. In a major of only about 30 students total, that's pretty uncommon. Maybe that is what brought us together as good friends. Or maybe it was how our unique stories converged.
Oh my goodness, look at this little high schooler. Isn't he the cutest?
Ethan, how are your first 2 weeks? Since we don't even know, how are your first 2 weeks?
So, I remember Jess from day one because she was sitting in the front and she left early to go to band practice. And like she was wearing her striped pants, they were black and white striped pants, like leggings, and she was wearing her DCI shirt. And I was like, man, she must be in jump coach. I thought she was really intense because like she's like DCI, like I thought she was like an upperclassman or something. I was like, oh, okay.
Impressionable. I was scared shitless.
I know. and then I think I saw you at a band event. Like I was involved with band like the first couple of weeks, so like. And then Sean came on the map sometime in the spring.
It was like a hate. It's like
hate.
when you're a little kid and then you like don't remember memories before a certain time.
I know,
just popped in there.
Yeah, act like you're... Ooh, let me get the words of your thesis on there. So, being at Cornell and being a transfer student, what have been some of your struggles here? Like, any with classes, research, clubs, friends, finding friends, so on and so forth?
I would say that right off the bat, my struggles came academically. It had been over a year, almost 2 years since I had taken a solid math class, and I jumped right into Math 1920, which was multivariable calculus for engineers, and that was over my head, and I was really struggling to get through it. I had to utilize a lot of office hours, stay up late doing problem sets. I remember I was here all of Thanksgiving break that first semester just to study for this one class. So that was an academic struggle right off the beginning. As far as other struggles, I guess really just the big picture of I worked my way up to this Ivy League meteorology education, and I really felt like I needed to be able to come out of here having accomplished something, and that was a real struggle for me because I didn't really know how to do that. 2 years isn't a whole lot of time to learn the system and find your way through it. So I ended up pretty much just jumping in. The end of my first year here, I just started doing research with one of the professors, and I stayed here over the summer, and I just jumped at all the opportunities I could find, really.
So since coming to Cornell, my main struggle was just like getting acclimated to a new school. Like I was really, like in community college, I was like, just got like my friend base and everything, and I just started like having my feelers out and everything, and I was like, yeah, I'm a cool kid on campus. And then I came here and I was just like, no, like everything's all completely new, and it was like scary at first. Like I thought it was just gonna be a simple transition. I felt like undercut the whole transfer process. Like I was just like, oh, it'd be so easy, it's gonna be like no big deal. And I came here and I was like, wow, this is gonna require more work and more like acclimation than I initially thought. I mean, that was just one of the main struggles, and I think that it was like a pretty good learning experience, because that's something that's gonna happen like whenever you have a big transition in your life like that. So
Sean got a room with the dude.
I did get a room with a dude from Fairfax.
Fairfax, Virginia?
Yep.
Cool. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
I don't know either. It's cool. I feel like I've just become more like aware, I guess self-aware as a person. Because I thought before, like I thought I was pretty self-aware in general, like about like grades, about like relationships with different people and stuff like that. But I guess like that whole transition like to a new place and like a whole new environment was just really different. Like it was really different, and it made me more self-aware of like what's actually going on like around me. I felt like before I was kind of more not self-centered, but like I didn't think as much outside the box like as I do now, like through my experiences, not even like within the classroom, but with just everyone that I've met here. And yeah, and that's something I've noticed like actually pretty recently. Now I'm finally coming to the end of this, but like I feel like it's something I actually kind of came into and started to realize like now that it's coming to a close. So it's now almost like a transfer process all over again. Like the 2 years is up, but it's been awesome. So.
Yes, I would say that I have changed since I first came in here. Having gone through the community college process, it's very much centered on the long-term outcome of doing well and then transferring. So I had very good long-term goals. I would say that what helped me, or what I gained from Cornell, was the ability to jump in the moment, which is like what I did with the research, not missing opportunities as they come up, and really just being able to see what was going on around me, take chances when I needed to, and I think that's something that has helped me in the long run. I would say that the most unexpected part about being at Cornell in just these 2 years was really the people that I met. Like, I knew I was going to meet a lot of people when I came to community college, or when I came to Cornell from the community college, and that was something I was really looking forward to. I wanted that experience, branching out, making new friends and connections. As a transfer student within the atmospheric science department, I would say that my perspective of that whole process and what I went through was pretty much that you can forecast the weather, but you never know what the intricacies are going to be. I mean, you have this goal that you're striving for, and you know pretty much what you're going through, what track you're going to take, but along the way you get little variations here and there, and that's really what it's been for me about Cornell. There's things that popped up along the way that I didn't expect, things I got involved with, clubs that I didn't see coming, and just even within the department itself, I couldn't have expected this tight-knit group that we really have among our senior class this year, and that's something it nailed the forecast, but like, you get little variations here and there, and that's great. That's what weather's all about, and that's what atmospheric science is to me and Cornell.
I believe believe that I have changed. I feel like I've changed a lot. Coming from a small town and going to a new place, you learn so many new things, and it causes your worldview to kind of open up, and mine definitely did. I was just like afraid of taking chances that didn't have like a solid outcome. Coming here was kind of a risk, and I knew I had to take it because this is an opportunity of a lifetime to come to an Ivy League and study something that I've wanted to study all my life. And to come here and then find my niche in a place so prestigious and so awesome, it's caused me to grow up and see the world in a different way, that if you have dreams, you can chase them and you can actually achieve them. And I never really thought that, and coming from such a small little town where you think that the most you'll ever do is just go to a school an hour away and then come back home, and like just staying in the confines of where you've always been, it's I guess the fear of that kind of scared me and allowed me to take the risk to come here, but it ended up being way more than I ever thought it would be.
I'm not gonna lie. So my first impression of Bradfield was, I don't know what this is, because I entered through man and I didn't realize it was all connected. It's like one of those parts of life where it's like you enter through a simple thing and then it ends up being something much bigger. Along those same lines, I remember my first day here, I was supposed to go to room 1102. Here's me thinking this is the 101st floor, or 101st room on the first floor. So I'm going all around the first floor looking for this room, and someone's like, oh yeah, that's the 11th floor. I'm like, whoa, 11 floors, this is much more complicated than I thought it was. And that's pretty much how Bradfield works. It's a lot more than meets the eye.
Like, they'd have to know when it's raining then.
We should get smart sprinklers. Yeah, we can.
I guess when I first saw Bradfield, it reminded me of like almost like a scientific like compound. Like first time I saw it was when I came to visit Cornell, and I couldn't find the atmospheric science department, so I just wandered around campus, and I just saw this place, and it looked like a lab, like a giant lab, almost like a government-ish lab, like it's somewhere almost I wouldn't expect the department to be. And I kind of made it to the top floor, and it was like a different feel once you're inside than you get when you're outside. Jesus. Ethan scares me in the dining hall like every other week, I feel like, and then puts bugs in my food.
Pete said hi.
Pete?
Yeah. He made a vegan quesadilla today.
Oh, he did? Oh, I haven't seen Peter.
Yeah, we're in Boston.
Okay,